Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil and welcome to the second special video for the year, guys. Now, last year, around this time last year, like early last year in February, I did a review for Stargate SG1. I gave my overall thoughts about the show, I did a ranking of the seasons, and I also ranked the main characters. Today, we're going to be doing that as well, but hopefully, I don't drag it out. If it is a long video, I apologize, but I actually don't know how long it is right now because I'm using iMovie to record, and I only know how long it is after the recording. So I apologize if this is wrong. But anyway, regardless, I have seen all 5 seasons, all 100 episodes of Stargate Atlantis, and I like the show. I do. However, I still prefer SG1. SG1 had season 2 and 4, which were pretty much the best thing the two shows could ever offer, in my opinion. Not to say that Atlantis was bad, it's not. I actually went through all the shows I've seen on the TV ranking, that shows that I've seen at least one full season of, and shows that have at least like that's like a mini series I've seen, whatever. Anyway, the point is that for those shows on ranking, I actually didn't just put them in the ranking. I gave like a point decimal system rating, so like 0.0 to 0.9 basically, and Atlantis got 7.1 and SG1 got 7.2, which isn't bad. Okay, it's not bad. Any show that gets above a 7 is actually good. It's watchable, in my opinion. But that being said, though, I think Atlantis did play it a little bit safe at times, but I still think the show is solid. I still think it's a good show. I had a good time watching it. The characters were definitely likable for the most part. But unlike SG1, I feel like there's only so much you could do with one actual big bad villain and threat, and that's the Wraith. In SG1, it felt like as one villain got defeated, there was other villains that took over and replaced them. In this, it's just primarily the Wraith, with some exceptions of other villains coming and going as well. But I do want to say that Atlantis, in terms of the show overall, they actually make it a little more easier for you to like get into the show basically. Like SG1 does a lot of lore and like all this world building. Atlantis exists in a universe where all that stuff's already done, but at the same time, because it's just one villain, it makes it easier to get into. And I could see that being a reason as to why people really like or love this show. Like on IMDb, it has an 8.1. Like 8.1 is pretty damn good for a show like this. Even SG1 has an 8.4 on IMDb as well. Like I'm surprised how highly rated both these shows are. You know, I would have thought Atlantis would probably be like a 7.5 or 7.7, but no, that's pretty damn high. I mean, that's just how I feel. I still feel like it's a 7.1, but I still think both shows are definitely worth a watch. But hey, I would recommend them, but just keep in mind they are quite long. And that's another thing. This is one of those shows that because there's so many episodes in the season, it's really hard to remember everything. But I guess that's why the recaps are there and all that. So there's that. Now, in terms of the characters, I enjoyed the characters for the most part in the show. However, there's some characters I feel like they could have done a little bit more with personally. And in terms of the story, I mean, it's fun sci-fi stuff. I mean, it's just basically these group of people just taking down this alien race. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know, it's not like a stereotypical alien invasion show. This is more like a space opera, if you will, you know, kind of like SG1. I mean, it is like SG1, they do travel to planets via Stargate. However, I actually thought it would just be on Atlantis and then these threats attacking Atlantis, but no, it was very different to what I thought it would be. So there's that. Now, it's funny because unlike SG1, in the 5 seasons, the team roster actually changes quite a bit. So you actually have to get used to some of the changes as the show goes on, especially in season 4 and 5, I would say. So there's that. And if I were to just rank the seasons very quickly, it would be season 5 at the bottom, season 4, and then 1, 2, and 3. I think the show gradually got better with the first 3 seasons, but season 4 and 5 were just, you know, not as good in my opinion because the two leaders that replaced Weir in the show, it just felt, it didn't feel right to me. I was so used to it felt like. So there's that. But that's just how I feel about the show overall. I don't want to make this too long, guys, already, so there's that. I mean, I feel like I rambled on for SG1, but I enjoyed the show. I had fun with it, and they definitely did good on what they were going for. I mean, the show was gonna end with I guess a 6 and 7, season 6 and 7, but then the show got cancelled. I guess halfway through season 5 while it was airing, and then I guess they had to film a finale for the show. And for the most part, I thought it wrapped up nicely. You can definitely tell if you watched the final episode, which I did earlier today. I watched the last 2 episodes this morning, and it did end up the show in a nice way, but it did feel like there was still more to do. Basically, like you could definitely tell they could still continue the show on from the final scene and the final episode of the show. So it's that. But yeah, I like the show. I had fun with it. It's a good, solid, fun sci-fi show. I mean, Jason Momoa is in it. I mean, that's probably the one reason why a lot of people now at least would probably want to watch the show because of Jason Momoa. I mean, he's not the best actor ever, from what I've personally seen. I mean, I love him as Aquaman, whatever you want to call the guy, but still, but I do like him in the show. I think he's definitely a fun presence, and he's badass and cool when he needs to be. Speaking of characters, now let's actually get onto the character ranking, because I really don't want to drag this on for too long, guys. And there are 10 main characters in Atlantis. Now there are obviously other characters as well, like Zelenka, Amelia, Mitch Pileggi's character. There's a bunch of other characters as well. Todd, one of the Wraith that actually kind of helps them up in a way. Michael, the Janai, there's so many characters that we could have seen. Laren, but this is just the 10 main characters of the show that actually get credited in the intro. So if you see the intro, you would see these characters there. I actually skipped the intros. I really can't be bothered. I know they might work for you, but for me, I just want to get on with the episode, to be honest with you. So let's get started with the character ranking. So coming in last place at number 10 is going to be Richard Woolsey. Now, Woolsey only really came in the last season of the show and kind of took over as the new leader of the base, the expedition. And I thought he was fine. He wasn't like amazing or anything like that to me, but I wouldn't say that he was a character that I liked watching. He was just there. I was like, oh, okay, cool, Woolsey's there, whatever. Yeah. I mean, they did some interesting things with him in the final season, make him a little bit more likable. But at the same time, I don't know. I just wasn't like the biggest Woolsey fan to begin with. If you guys like Woolsey, I'm sorry, but he's my least favorite out of the 10 main characters of the show. All right, 9. This one's going to be a big surprise because in SG1, this character actually really stands out. But here, not as much. Number 9 is going to be Samantha Carter. Now, unfortunately, Sam is definitely one of my favorite characters, I would say, in the whole Stargate universe franchise, whatever you want to call it. But in this show, I feel like it wasn't as cool, It was nice to see Sam, but unfortunately, she wasn't as interesting as she was in her original show when she was first introduced. I liked her being with SG1 and all that. The team dynamic was great there. But here, it was just like the stereotypical leader role. She said some cool lines in a cool way, and I don't know. I wasn't crazy in the character this season. It feels like they just got her on just to make it, seem like, oh, okay, now we got to really tie in SG1 and maybe to bring in more people. I mean, it would have been interesting if Jack was the leader instead of Sam, but this was actually unexpected. I mean, I did hear about this. I can't lie. I was a bit spoiled by Sam actually being part of Atlantis. But no, here it's very different. And, no, sorry, not very different. Here, Sam, when she comes in and becomes a leader, I was not expecting that. I was just expecting her maybe to be part of the team, basically. That's what I thought. But no, she's the leader of the base now, which is very interesting and unexpected. But she did a good job. I can't lie. She's no Weir. I think Weir was definitely the best leader out of the three of them. So there's that. I mean, I think the leaders got a little worse as they went on over time. I mean, Woolsey, my God, this dude had to go through so much as a leader, right? But Sam, I'm sorry, I'm just not a big fan of her character overall to begin with in Atlantis. But in SG1, clearly she was up there for sure. And it's nothing to be sexist against the female characters of the show. I just think that sometimes they could be handled a bit better. That's just me personally. Sometimes they're a bit boring and all that. And I think Sam is the most boring character in terms of female main characters in the show personally. Alright, number 8 is going to be Aiden Ford. Now, Aiden is a character that they actually did some interesting things with. And yeah, it was cool and all, but unfortunately, he was really only in one season of the show. After that, they just wrote his character off, and it's unfortunate because I feel like they could have brought him back, maybe in the final season of the show, but they didn't. Anyway, I like Aiden. I think they again did some interesting things with him, but he wasn't really my favorite member of the, I guess, the group overall, the actual Atlantis team, if you want to call it that, you know. But he was there from the he was in the first season, you know. He wasn't, I guess you can call him an OG, but he's not really an OG. I mean, the only real OGs actually Rodney and John, because they were the actually two that actually appeared right from the start of the show, and then only did Taylor and Aiden come, I guess, after that. But I liked Aiden, but I didn't love Aiden. All right, next up at number 7 is going to be Elizabeth Weir. Now, she was recast, obviously, if you watch the show, but I think the actress that played her and remained playing her to the end of the show, basically, did a great job. She did a really good job, but again, I wish there was more to her character. They did some interesting things with her. There were some episodes actually focused on her, which I can't lie, did work and definitely stand out for sure. But definitely not my favorite character in the show. However, she definitely felt like an actual responsible leader. She knew what she was doing. You know, I feel like Sam was just still trying to figure things out and all that type of stuff. And same as Woozy. Woozy had to go for a lot in the final season. But Weir, in the 3 season she was in the show, she really did her stuff and she really did a great job doing it. So overall, props to her for and the character for doing that. But again, not my favorite character, not the most fun character, but I would rather choose to watch her over the other 3 characters just because of the screen time and how much we got to see of her. All right, number 6 is going to be Carson Beckett. Now, this is just a likable, sweet, lovable character. He's the good doctor. He's the one that always takes care of the people. I wasn't crazy on what they did with his character towards the end of the show, but I still like seeing Carson on screen. And I think the actor did a good job playing him. The accent definitely helps. His relationship with Rodney is definitely one of the best parts of the entire show, I would say. And yeah, I just think that whenever Carson's on screen, you know someone's gonna be saved, or well, he's gonna try his best. So there's that. However, he's not my favorite out of the 2 Doctor type characters in the show. I actually prefer the other one, which we'll get to when we get to her. But I still like Carson. However, he's not in the top 5, but he's definitely more likable and more interesting personally. More fun to watch compared to these other characters. All right, now the top 5. I feel like all these characters deserve to be here to me personally. Number 5 is Taylor. Taylor, yes. I forgot a name. I can't lie. Isn't it name? I don't know. I just call it Taylor because no one really says a last name, to be honest with you. But Taylor's cool, okay? I can't lie. There's some cool badass parts to her character, but she's again not the most interesting character ever. However, they did give her a lot to work with. Like she did grow, experience a lot, especially towards the latter half of the show. But I just don't find her the most interesting character ever. She's kind of wooden, kind of bland, boring, stale at times. I don't know what it is about some of the characters in this show, even in SG1 for that matter. I can't lie. But I still don't mind Taylor overall. And yeah, she's basically like the teal'c of the group, if you will. She and Ronin are both like the teal'c of the group, basically. Like, they are both aliens and they come from another planet, but they just joined the group and blend in very nicely. And she's an OG. She's been there pretty much from episode 1 in a way, so there's that. But she wasn't in the very start of the show, if you know what I mean. But I still think Taylor, they did a good enough job with her. But I feel like if the show had like another season or 2, maybe she would be a little bit high based on how much more time they would have given to flesh out a character even more. All right, now, number 4. This one's going to surprise a lot of you. Everyone would probably put this character in the top 3, if not number 1. But as someone that has a biasness for main characters in movies, in TV shows, books, video games, whatever, because at the end of the day, that's a character we're rooting for. That's a character that we for. You know, maybe the main character isn't even a good guy. It's a bad guy. It's an anti-hero, right? But anyway, in this case, it's a good guy. And for me, the main character of the show is still good. I still don't mind watching them. But they don't stand out compared to the other 3 characters that I have high on the list. Again, this is my own personal ranking. Anyway, number 4 is John Shepard. Now, Shepard is cool. Shepard is badass. Shepard is fun and funny. But he's no Jack O'Neill. I'm sorry, Jack is just the more likable character. I don't know why. I find Jack more fun to watch than John. John at times can be very, like, again, bland and boring, but I still don't mind John. However, he will never be Jack. I'm sorry, that's just true. Maybe it's because I started with SG1 first, but I'm sorry, Jack O'Neill is just, he's the guy, man. He's my favorite character in SG1, but not my favorite character in the whole Stargate universe, I feel like. That's not true. Because my favorite Stargate character is actually my favorite character in the show, which we'll get to when we get to. I think you might know who that is. But anyway, John Shepard is definitely an enjoyable character. He definitely experiences a lot, and his relationship with each of the members of the group and the show overall is really interesting. Like, they all have their own unique interactions with each other. I love that. But yeah, he's not my favorite character. I'm sorry. All right, now the top three. Number three is Ronan Dex. Ronan Dex, aka Ronan, played by Jason Momoa, is the most baddest character in the entire show. Maybe the most baddest character in the Stargate franchise that I personally come across. Seriously, he is awesome. He is great. Jason Momoa just does such a great job playing him. He was in his like late 20s, early 30s when he played him, and I thought he just did a great job playing the character. And he looks the exact same. Like, how does this guy not age? I don't know if it's the hair in the show or whatever, but Jason Momoa looks the exact same age, like how he does here. Yeah. But anyway, or maybe just a tad bit older. But anyway, Ronan's also awesome. I love Ronan, but he's not the most fun character. At times, it can feel like they're writing him a bit too safe at times, and they don't take many risks with the character. But whenever Ronin's on screen, you know how Ronin's gonna act and react to certain situations, and that's a good thing but a bad thing. Like, I feel like they could have made his character a little more smarter instead of him not really giving a shit half the time, or like not trusting people so like easily and all that. Like, to be fair, I understand his point, but at the same time, like, I feel like they didn't always have to go down the same rabbit hole. Like, half the time when something bad happens to someone and it's like, oh, it's a trap, I don't trust this, blah blah blah. You get the point with Ronin, but I still think this is an awesome character. Alright, number two. This is the biggest surprise, I'm sure, to everyone. No one saw this coming. Number two is Jennifer Keller. This is my favorite female character in the entire Stargate franchise. Yes, I like her more than Sam. I like her more than Vela. I like her more than Taylor. We're all the characters, basically. Why? Because this is the only character in the two shows that I actually like have a genuine crush on. Vala's not too bad, but Jennifer, I can't lie. I love her. She's so much, she's so adorable, so cute. And she has this like just lively like like the expressions on her eyes at times. It's so fun and funny to watch. Like the I also, it doesn't help that the actress playing her when she was in the show was like around my age, in like a like mid to late 20s. I just love this character. The most beautiful, the most likable character it just feels like in the show. Like, she's the most likable character I feel like in the entire show. Like, she's just there just to do a job and all that, and you can just tell she's trying to fit in and really go for it. You know, there are times that, you know, maybe you can find a bit annoying, but I love her. And number but yeah, I think she's a great character. And finally, number one, we all know who it is. It's Rodney McKay. Yes, the man himself. The most interesting and layered character in this entire show and in the entire Stargate franchise. Like, this man has layers to him, okay? I love characters that have layers to him. He's at one point just at like, sometimes he's just egotistical and arrogant, and at other times he just has this heart, this softness, this fun and funny side. Like, you know, he's great. Again, the expressions on his face, the acting from David Hewitt is just amazing. Hewitt. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but he's great. He's genuinely great, and yeah, I love his character, and he has a great relationship with pretty much all the characters in the show. So yeah, Rodney McKay is my favorite character. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. He makes the show. There's some genuine laugh out loud, funny, hilarious moments with this character. Yeah, and I, again, like I said before, I like layered characters. So there's that. Now, before I go, I do want to say that this show, while it is long, while there is 100 episodes, while I do recommend it, I do want to say this. This show is still enjoyable. This show still has its fun moments. This show still, has its great characters. But the pacing is an issue. The pacing is an issue. So I would end it off with this video by saying this. I know I'm rambling on and on. I apologize, but basically what I'm trying to say is that you can watch Atlantis, you can have fun with Atlantis, but the pacing is still going to be an issue because there is a lot of episodes in the show. But yeah, guys, that's all I have to say. I know this was very random to end it off like that, but yeah, just go have fun with Atlantis if you want to. Go have fun with SG1 if you want to. And yeah, that's all I have to say for Stargate Atlantis, guys. I apologize if this was long. You can already tell how long it is. I'm going to see how long it is right now. But next up for special videos, I got one next month already planned. Already, which will be very different. This will be the last of these older TV show reviews. I only really wanted to do these three, both Stargate shows and X-Files. However, next up for videos, I'm going back to One Piece. Yes, Egghead is done, so I'll be covering that. That'll be the next thing I'll be watching, and hopefully I can get that done by the end of this month. Then I can put out a review for it. And then after that, I'll be going through some other show, this other live action show that is older, but not that old compared to the other older shows I've been talking about on the channel. But yeah, it will be that, and then I'll be going through some other anime as well. But guys, that's it. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and this review of Stargate Atlantis and the ranking of the main characters. Sorry if I was just going all over the place. I'm sorry, but if you've seen these videos, you know how it is by now. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name is Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.